And I'll show you. I have a site here, mymommyreviews.info, which is um, a site that I actually use, and you can just go there right now. And this is a site I use for this exact purpose. And I believe I talked about it in another Q&A. But this is a site. It's in my official books. Okay, so it's in my bookkeeper has a category for this site with expenses and any revenue. As so, if I ever get, if the government ever comes, the IRS ever comes and asks about it, it's officially part of my business. This is a business site. It's not a personal site. And I review all kinds of different things, and I mainly keep it to things like events and restaurants and things like that. Anything if I'm looking to write off the gas or the parking fees, there's a lot of really expensive parking fees here in Chicago. Anything like that, I'll just do a review of it, a business review, and then that allows me to write off all the expenses related to this. And sometimes it's just the expenses related to, however much it costs, like home run pizza. I mean, it's nothing, probably it was like $50 or something like that. It wasn't that much, but I'm eating there anyway. I got my family there. We're eating there anyway. Might as well make it a business expense rather than a personal expense. So anytime you can do that. Now, I am not a tax professional. I just want to say that I am not an accountant, and I have certain guidelines that I'm following on this site that have come specifically from my certified public accountant that I have when I asked him, how can I do this and keep these things deductible? So you need to ask your specific questions to your specific accountant about how to do this, because your specific business might have some different areas of where you need to be careful, different things where the IRS is really, if you're not in the U.S., your government tax entity, whatever they are watching out for certain things. There's loopholes, but there's also ways that they can get you and deny you that deduction. So you do want to get advice from a certified accountant on doing this. But I will say that the advantage of having an online business is that you have multiple websites, and one of the ways that you get revenue is from websites. So it's not a strange thing to have a site like this where you have expenses related to it. I mean, I have sites that are a total loss. I mean, they were experimental sites that I put a lot of money into, and they didn't work at all. They were test sites. And so it's really going to it's not going to be that strange to see another site just like this one, even if it doesn't make any revenue at all in my own business. If you don't have a lot of websites, it might be a little more difficult to get this deduction, just because they're going to see, hey, you only have 2 websites, and one of them is basically where you review everything in your life. So yeah, that's the basics on how to do it. Now, specifically, Beth, what you could do with this, you visited your son in Chicago, so you want to review the Twin Anchors, the Bean, Riding the L from O'Hare. I would just make a blog. I would do a separate blog, unless you have a blog where this makes sense. But you definitely want it to make sense as a review site. So if you don't have a site that would make sense as a review site, you might need to make a brand new site, which is what I did here. And basically, I just use this. The easiest way for me to post a review where it's going to take as little time as possible is I just call my own voicemail and leave a recording, and you just click here and you can listen to my reviews. That way I don't have to type anything, I don't have to make any, then I just send this entire audio file over to one of my folks in the Philippines, and he posts all this other information, the address, the website, Facebook, embeds a Google map for me and everything, makes a nice blog post, and I don't have to do it at all. And so I don't have to do hardly anything. So when I'm leaving a place like Home Run Inn, I'll just call my voicemail and leave the review, and all my voicemails automatically come to me via email as an audio file that I could just forward wherever I want. So I just email that over to him, and he makes the blog post. That way it's very little work for me. I don't want to put any extra time into this, hardly at all. And so I don't do video. I don't even type anything because I just don't want to bother. The main purpose of this is just to get a write-off. There's also a plugin that I'm going to cover in my Google. We're working on updating the Google Maps course, the Google Plus Local course right now. Actually, we're spending tons of time right now doing that. And I'm going to talk about this plugin that adds stars to each blog post, which is really powerful. And if you look, let me show you this. iMommyReviews.info. If you look, these are all the pages that are indexed